DreAllDay.com.
What I mean when I say piece of credibility. It was like, all right, we'll see what this guy talks about because it's interesting, it's unique, right? A basketball player talking about mindset and business. So it was unique, and that got my foot in the door. So I got in the door. I spoke here last year in a room about this size, talking about applying the mental game of an athlete to work with. And they liked it, and they asked me to come back. And this morning I spoke in a room that was about 100 times the size, talking about a similar topic. And I'm telling you that not to impress you, but to remind you that because I performed when I got my chance, my one little chance, because I performed, I got a bigger opportunity. And because hopefully I performed well at this opportunity, I don't know. They told me I did, but you know, they always tell you that to your face. If I perform well at this opportunity, then that'll lead to another one and another one and another one. Speaking of another one, you heard DJ Khaled, right? All right. So I was listening to, and I didn't plan this. I was listening to this interview with this dude, Fat Joe. Y'all know Fat Joe, the rapper? Yeah. All right, so Fat Joe was on the radio once, right? Because Fat Joe was the guy, a lot of people don't know this, Fat Joe was really the guy who put Khaled on in music. And Fat Joe said, because he used to have, y'all know he had the Terror Squad, his rapper named Big Pun. He died before a lot of y'all seen him die. But Fat Joe put a lot of rappers on, he helped a lot of rappers get in the game. And when he was being interviewed, they always ask you about controversy. I know y'all watch interviews, they always ask you about the conflicts and all that stuff. So somebody said to Joe, yo, you got all these rappers, or some rappers who said, yo, you didn't help them out, you didn't do what you could have done. Fat Joe said, listen, let me tell you something about DJ Khaled. He said, I gave DJ Khaled a shot glass. I know a shot glass. He said, I gave DJ Khaled a shot glass worth of opportunity. He went and got the whole ocean. And I'm telling y'all that to tell you that when you get your opportunity, no matter how small it is, you got to make sure you perform that opportunity. If you don't perform, you're not going to get another shot. And he performed so well with that opportunity, it led to the next thing and the next thing, till it got to the point that now, how is the dude who put somebody else on? You know what I'm saying? Like now he got his own business, he don't need Joe. Somebody's coming to him like, yo, help me out, Alex, help me get me on. But he started in the same place that all of you are at right now, or you will be very soon, where you're trying to get in the game. But when you get that shot, you got to be ready to go. When I got my shot to come speak here, again, nobody knew me. There was no fanfare, there was no celebration, nobody was asking for my autograph or nothing like that. They're like, all right, basketball player talking about business, so okay, we'll see. I had to come in here and deliver. And because I delivered, I got the next opportunity. Does that answer your question? Okay. Who else got a question? Who want to talk about?
Hi, I'm Rihanna. As a graduating senior, what advice do you have as I transition over to my post-secondary?
Okay, so Rihanna, right?
Yes.
What advice do I have as you transition in your post-secondary education? What are you going to do next? You know?
Sports medicine after the training.
So you going to school?
Yes.
Okay, so you're about to go to college. I'll tell you what I tell people to major in school. And I'm not talking about changing your major. This is a metaphor that I give you. Number one thing you need to major in school, I don't care what you're studying, is relationships. Number one thing you need to major in school are relationships. I know what relationships mean. What I mean when I say relationships, that means knowing people and them knowing you and them actually liking you. Not bad relationships, good relationships. People knowing you and having a favorable opinion. Because if people have a favorable opinion of you, they can get things done for you you can't get done for yourself. See, the fact that I came to this conference, for example, and I hopefully did well. If Perry goes, let's say there's some person named Mike outside this room. I don't know Mike. Mike has some power, right? Mike can do things for me that really help me out. I have no relationship with Mike. Mike got a relationship with Perry. Perry puts in a good word about me. Now Mike will help me out. Only because I know Perry and Perry says something positive about me. The relationships that you build in school, my best friends is Mike right now are all people that I met in college. The fact that I became a pro is from some information I got from one of my college teammates. I didn't know what he knew about how to get in the game. So number one thing you got to major in is building relationships. Knowing people, there's no downside to more people. There's downsides to almost everything else. Downsides to too much candy, downsides to, some people even say downside to having too much money. Downside to almost too much of everything. Number one thing, there's no downside. More people knowing you and liking you will help you get things done. So number one piece of advice I'll give you, Rihanna, is build relationships, make friends, and be prepared to be disciplined in everything that you do. I got a podcast, not to even plug myself, I got a podcast. My sister is a college professor, and I just interviewed her on my show. And I asked her, she was really on point in school. She was better than me. And I asked her, what was it that you did that made you so good in school? She has a JD, which is a law degree. She has a PhD, and she went to the University of Pennsylvania. It's the Ivy League school. She also went to Stanford, which is an Ivy League on the West Coast. She did everything you could do in school, she did it at the highest possible way. And I asked her how she did it, and she said, I prepared, I was always ready, I was always on point. So if you can go find my podcast and listen to her tell it, she is more qualified than me to tell you how to succeed in school. Not that I was bad, but she was better. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What about one of you young gentlemen? I got no question. All right. What else are we going to talk about? Yes. Kira? So what is my business? This is a good question. My business is teaching people how to apply to pro athletes mental game to their everyday life. Whether that's at work, at school, whether they want to play a sport, whether they start a business. That's my business in general. So when people ask me how I do that, you tell people that, they're like, okay, well, what do you do? How do you do it? I come speak, I do podcasts, I do social media, I write books, I coach, I consult, all that stuff, probably a bunch of other things like that. That's how I do it, that's the method. But what people actually get for businesses, let me explain what business means. Y'all know what business means? If I ask you what's business, what's business? It's my answer, what's business? Anybody know what business is? Y'all want to do business, right? Everybody here got a phone? Yeah. Do your phones work? Yeah. It costs money, right? Who's paying for it? Y'all know what business is? Lights in here, right? These lights ain't free. Who's paying for it? Y'all gotta know what business is. Because life ain't free. You sleep in the bed costs money, lights cost money, water, food, clothes you got on, car you drive in, the bus you ride, all those cost money. Business is a simple definition, the exchange of resources between people. That's business. Exchange of resources. So I give you some information, a book, give me $10 on my book, right? I give you some electricity for your house, you give me whatever you pay for your electricity bill every month. That's business. The exchange of resources. I give you something, you give me something. So the question that you were asking is, what exactly is it that I do? The business is teaching people the mental game and how to apply it to their life. That's the business. Because I give you that, you give me this. Now my methods for doing that, I can give you a speech, I can write you a book, listen to my podcast, follow me on Instagram. I got all these different methods, but the business is just that one. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? What's that question? Don't be shy. Yes?
Can you share some of your methods for your brain or mental game?
Yeah, some of my methods? Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to the mental game, there are 4 specific things that I teach. I call the whole thing, I call it work on your game. That's just the name of it, that's the principle of the philosophy. But it's 4 specific things you need for work on your game. Number 1 is discipline. You know what discipline is? What's discipline? Self-control? What else? That's one thing. What else is discipline? If somebody has to discipline you, what happens? Punishment? Teaching you a lesson. What else? Wherever you are, knowing how to adjust. Or nobody's going to do anything for you if you do it, and there's not even discipline. There's no penalty. You do it anyway. You get it done anyway. Mental toughness is your ability to do it, even when there's a whole bunch of distractions going on around. Mental toughness is your ability to stay confident, even when confidence. If I tell you, if you're really confident and you try out for the team, you're going to make it. And then you're confident, you try out and you don't make it. Would you say confidence? Or if I say you're confident, or you prepare for this job interview, and and then you go to it, you'll get the job, and then you don't get the job. But you still believe this method will work. Does that make sense? Let me explain it better. It's kind of like if I gave you a method and said, if you do this, this, and this, you're going to get this result. And then you believe me, and then you go do it. You do this, this, and this, and you don't get the result. Mental toughness is your ability to believe and say, you know what? I'm going to apply it again. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to keep sticking to what I believe in until I get the outcome that I want. That's mental toughness. If there's one word I want you to remember about mental toughness, the word until. U-N-T-I-L, until. I'm going to keep doing what I got to do until I get the outcome that I want. There's a word we use for that. We call it persistence. That word persistence. Just keep doing what I got to do until I get the outcome that I want. I'll tell you something that I do in my business these days. I do these things called cold calls. You know what a cold call is? And y'all know what a cold call is? A cold call, y'all know what a phone call is? A cold call is usually when you make a phone call, you call somebody you know, right? Cold call is when you call somebody you don't know, who has never heard of you. They are not expecting you. They're not asking you to call them, but you're calling them and you're trying to sell them something. That's a cold call. You ever had a telemarketer call your phone? Try to sell you something, you hang up on them, or you don't take the call, or you block the number? All right. I do those. Cold calls. Somebody don't answer the phone. Now let me ask a question. How many times would you, if you had a job selling something, let's say you're selling a car, or you're selling yourself, you're selling a book, and I told you you need to call all these numbers and sell this product. How many times would you call somebody before you said, you know what, this number is not working, let me try it different? Or not in the same day, but how many times in general would you call before you said, all right, they're not going to take it, so let me call somebody else? How many times? You don't stop? No, I'm not saying that it's disconnected. I'm saying you just dial it and nobody answers, you get the voicemail. How many different times would you call that number at your job before you decided I'm not calling that number anymore? How many times? 5, 3, how many? 3, how many? 2, how many? 5, how many? 2, 3? All right. I heard, I don't stop. I heard 5, 3, 2. Anybody more than 5? Let me tell you some statistics about sales. The average customer makes a purchase of a product after being exposed to that product 6 times. 6. So you know when you go on the internet, you see those ads that you ignore, or you watch TV and they got commercials, or you go in the store and you see the same product over and over and over again. Think how many times you actually see that commercial before you do something about it. It's not twice. It ain't 3 times. The average sale happens after the 6th exposure to the product. So in other words, ain't none of y'all selling nothing. Ain't none of y'all gonna sell nothing. Because first of all, they didn't answer the phone yet, so they don't even know that you exist. So you made all those phone calls for nothing. They don't even know what you're selling. They don't even know your name. You didn't talk to them. They didn't answer the phone yet. Why would you stop calling? Why even take the first actions if you're not going to see it through to the end of the action? That's what mental toughness is. I'll call somebody until they answer the phone. I had a dude email me last week. He was mad at me because I called him too many times. I was happy. I said, I want people to get mad at me for calling me too many times. There's 2 things that tells me. Number 1, he don't want what I'm selling anyway. Because if he wanted what I was selling, he wouldn't care how many times I called. Y'all ever been in a relationship, boyfriend or girlfriend? Do they get mad if you call them too much? Not if they with you, not if they really like you, right? If they like you, they don't get mad if you call or text you. Maybe if it's crazy, right? But if they like you, they want you to call them, right? Most of the time they get mad if you don't. So first of all, they told me this guy's not interested. That's okay, but at least I know. Okay, what if I called him 10 times and he never answered, and I said, you know what, he's not interested. But what if he was on vacation, he just wasn't at work? What if he lost his phone? What if he changed his number and I didn't have the new number? What if, let me tell y'all something else. There was this woman, she was a music executive. She worked for a record label in New York, right? And she was really powerful, really known. So everybody in the music world, if you wanted to be in the music world, you knew this woman's name. And everybody would try to go through her to try to get their shot. So she had an email inbox. Everybody had her email address. It was a public email address. So people would email her like, hey, miss, I got this music, I want to get on, I want to do this, that, and third. This is how she would do her inbox. And this is a real story. I want y'all to remember this. When someone would send her an email, it would go into her general email inbox. Her inbox had about 10,000 unread emails in it. Now, that same person, she had this set up. It was like a mechanism she had set up in her email box. If the same person emailed her a second time, that message would go into a different folder. That folder had a couple hundred messages. If the same person emailed her again a third time, that email went into another folder. And that's the folder that she actually read and replied to. In other words, she wasn't even looking at your email unless you emailed her at least 3 times to show that you were serious about what you wanted. You emailed once and didn't reply, and she didn't reply, she's all right, you ain't serious anyway. You don't believe in what you're offering. I'm not talking, I don't need to talk to you. You emailed a second time, all right, maybe. The third time, all right, this person believes in what they got. Might not even be good. She might not even be interested in it, but at least I'm going to read what you got to say. This is what I want y'all to understand. There are billions of people on this earth. And whatever job or industry you're trying to get into, there are thousands, if not millions, of people trying to get the same spot you got, the same spot you want. If you are not willing to persist in order to get what you want, even if what you want is just a conversation, you're not getting it. Because you ain't serious about it. And there is a person who has the same skill as you, went to the same schools, same degree, same knowledge, same information. They're going to persist and you don't, they're going to get what you won't get. Just because of that. And if somebody asks you about less skills than you, you will get it. Because you weren't willing to persist. You're not willing to, you won't want to call somebody because you don't want to, I have people tell me, well, I don't want to inconvenience people while they're at work. I don't want to call somebody while they're at work. They might get mad at me. I want to call somebody while they're at home. They might be with their family. They might be eating. They might be sleeping. I don't care. I'm going to call you whenever I need to call you. I need to get you on the phone. My job is not to convenience you. My job is to get you on the phone so I can sell my product. Because if I don't sell my product, I can't pay my bills. So my business is not to make you happy. My business is to get you on the phone so I can tell you what I got, to get you to agree, to give me my money so I can deliver my service, so then I can do my business. That's my job. And if you're not willing to persist, to inconvenience people, to piss somebody off, to have somebody cuss you out, in order for you to do what you got to do, you're not going to do what you got to do. What happens when you don't do what you got to do in the professional world? It's over. Y'all understand what I'm saying? That's what mental toughness is about. And I understand for a lot of people, and this is why I talk about discipline and confidence first. Because if you don't believe in what you have to offer, you're not going to do what I just said. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to call somebody 10 times. You don't believe in yourself. When you get that person on the phone, listen, I've called people so many times, I finally get them on the phone. And you can tell by the sound of their voice, they know who I am, they're kind of annoyed. Like, yo, all right, let me talk to this guy.